Hello and welcome back to Evening Star for episode 23 of Purple is the Chosen One, our favoured soul life. I think it's fair to say, especially since reaching Epic, we have had a pretty bumpy road of it so far, but I was hoping that uh, on arrival at 23 that could change for the better. Although it is fair to say that a lot of the bumpiness has been down to me and my um, struggling to adapt to the new level 9 spells that we've got and to phase other less effective spells out of the rotation. Up until last level I still had a completely unmettered Searing Light on the bar, which for sort of early to mid epics is ever so slightly ridiculous. I think I was just clinging on to it for old time's sake. But there comes a time, I think, where you have to make changes. I'm just replacing on the bar some of the gear we've swapped, so I might as well go through that first. It's not perfect by any means for our build, but in most cases it's upgrades. It's Kenneth crafted stuff that I made along the way, mostly for my main character Fools for various lives he was doing, and we've adapted it to suit our needs. I've not changed anything, but it's got most of what we need on it. So the goggles, as you probably remember, I had all the evocation stuff on there. This is similar. The wisdom, obviously, we're not going to be doing anything with, but the good luck and the spellcraft are nice for us. The necklace is kind of an upgrade of what we already had. Con and charisma, insightful charisma. Intelligence is alright, that'll give us a bit more spell power. And festive con, those come from the special events, either the Snow Peak Festival or the what's the other one, the Halloween thing, the Night Revels. One or other of those I think has the con diamond. Nice little boost to hit points. What we got there, that's just an upgraded version of the somewhat useless trinket we already had. A bit more light spell power, a bit more spell sight. Insightful corrosion is useless on this build. We've still got the nucleus of the build, the three-piece set from Shan, the heroic set. The boots are the same, the DR15 golden greaves. I thought about equipping the black feather boots, level 21 black feather boots from the Borderlands. Those are quite nice. Freedom of movement, speed 30. I think there's a insightful bonus to saves on there, which is nice. But in the end I've stuck with the damage reduction. It's debatable. I mean, the chunks of damage we're taking now, 15 reduced, is maybe neither here nor there in some cases when you're taking it in hundreds at a time, but I'm going to leave it, I think. The two weapons you already know about, we've had those since early Epic. These rings are just upgrades of what I already had. It's debatable whether we need force stats, because the only things using force as far as I'm aware is the comic fall, which I'm using for crowd control, not damage really, and the blade barrier. So yeah, if that didn't have other things I wanted, the topaz of evocation is nice for spell DCs, and insightful con for hit points, so I've left it there. I thought about swapping back in the excuse me, the spinneret, but it's a bit of a wash because the spinneret has a 1 quality bonus to spell DCs, but then we would lose the topaz of evocation. So I'm just leaving that there. Gloves are a slight upgrade on what we had. Insightful force is relevant, isn't it? Yeah, so we're actually going to have a very strong force power. Maybe I should keep going with the blade barrier, try and make something of it in situations which allow it. Um, resistance for the save, that's very nice. And devotion for the positive spell power, so that's not bad either to have. The Sapphire of Defense. Uh, Sapphire of Defense. We've got some. Oh, it's on here actually. This is the other one. So we've got more defense on there. So the Sapphire of Defense is a bit irrelevant because we've got sheltering 27, insightful physical sheltering, and we've got the Radiance Law on there as well for the light crit chance. Plus the Festive Charisma 2. So another 2 on our Charisma. So all in all, not terrible items for our build. Let's see what it's done for our situation here. So the con's reasonable for the health. Charisma, I would say, is very good for the level at which we're at. I don't think it gets much better than that unless you've really chunked the past lives and the racials and all the other stuff. That's damn decent. That's led to some decent saving throws. Now bear in mind these will be higher in Reaper. These are going to be up towards 80 in Reaper, which is more than respectable I think for the level we're playing, early Epic and Reaper 1. So I would expect us to be doing full damage more often than not with the spells, and to be succeeding in the crowd controls. Although you can see now there's quite a gulf between non-evocation things like this Comet Fall, even heightened, and the evocation related ones like that Sound Burst. And part of the reason for that is we don't have a spell focus mastery item, so we're really all in on evocation, which is fine because it almost all is evocation. Sound Burst, Holy Smite, you can see they're all in the 70s. Whenever you see one in 70s, it's evocation. The Dragon Breath, the same thing. Implosion is also evocation. It doesn't even give a save on there. I don't know. I'm sure they get a save. Yeah, it says there's a fortitude save applying there. I thought as well that this should be subject to a spell pen check as an instant death effect, but it says there spell resistance no. I think that might be wrong because I could have sworn I'd seen some of those little blue flashes when things don't get imploded. That kind of indicates they've had spell resistance against you, and our spell pen isn't particularly amazing. So I have a feeling that might be wrong, but correct me please if that's not the case. So again, mid 70s here, evocation stuff. So the only non-evocation one on the bar is the Comet Fall. It's situationally nice, as we saw in the last quest, for things like undead, or as Wagon pointed out, the thing I actually attacked, the group I attacked with it in that situation were constructs, weren't they? Those animated armor things. Stuff that neither your colour spray nor the sound burst can affect. To be able to knock it down like that is nice. But, as was also pointed out, the Celestial Bombard can also knock down, and has 3 separate chances to do that on a much higher saving throw. So I really need to be making more use of this, not just for damage but for the CC as well. I've sort of differentiated a bit between the things used just for CC, which is the Sound Burst, Comet Fall and Holy Smite. I include that in there because that's a blinding effect. And the stuff for pure damage. The ones for pure damage I've given all the metas to. That kind of thing. And the ones for, you'll notice there's enlarge on there as well. So we're really going to be looking to start now that we've got the evergreen. I'll show you the epic destinies in a minute. We're really going to be looking to abuse our spell point pool and start hitting from extreme range and doing heavy damage, not just tickling the things from distance with our crowd control. So these crowd control ones have just got the what they need to hit from distance and to have the highest possible save. There's no maximise, no empower. I'm not using them to try and do damage, just to control the opponents and make it difficult for them to hurt us. I've remembered to put the new mantle on, so let's have a little look at that. Oh, saves, by the way, are reasonable, I think, there, for the level we're at. Reflex is a bit low, but I have boosted that up a bit with the Reaper tree. Aber, you were right, we were on the cusp of a new Reaper point. I've thrown it in there. I would dearly like another 3 to go with it so we could pick up that very important core, but I'm loath to remove anything out of here because this is all spell DC related, all this stuff. I'm not too bothered about the spell power, I just took that as fillers to get to where we wanted to be with these 2 lines. Fortification we've lost a bit. Yeah, let's have a quick look now what's happening with the epic, because it's been completely reorganised when we hit 23. I went all in on the primal side. It's not a bad fit for our build anyway. If you look at the cores we're having, it's perfect in terms of the powers it's boosting. Fire, light, positive and universal. It's everything we need. Plus a couple of DCs in the cores. It's also giving a bit of a bonus there to force, but force, as we discussed, we're not really using that much. I didn't fancy the cocoon. It cost the same as our Cure Serious, you know, for topping up in between fights. Maybe I should have taken it with hindsight. I could have quickened it, couldn't I? And it's a ticking thing, unlike the Cure Serious. But instead I took some PRR and MRR and a reflex save. We've got more charisma in there. The mantle, obviously, which you have to take to be able to use Evergreen. Evergreen triggers very often, giving you this 100 temporary spell points, which is going to make it much easier for us to go around using fully meted spells for the first time. Fully meted offensive spells. I also took 3 evocation DCs because it really is all about the evocation, this, and that's pushed us into a really decent place on the evocation side now. I've had to give up for the moment. I plan to put it back when we can. The divine energy resist, so I've had to re-add the individual ones just for now. In here we've still got the dragon breath that we're going to be using for our heavy close quarters damage, preceded by Ash, just like you said, Doc. Mustn't forget that. We've got the second core in there now, discount on spells, and not needing material components. I know it's just a quality of life thing, but it's nice not to have to watch all these things, and so I quite like that. It's also an extra bit of spell power for the second core. We've got a bit more spell power in there and some PRR and MRR in there. So I've got most of what I want, and there's some tasty stuff coming as well. There's some temporary hit point triggers in there, as well as even less spell point cost. So that'll be nice to have, but that's not till 26. Other nice things at 26 include the boosted up wellspring. A minute of that would, yeah, that would be seriously nice. Doubled dragon breath power. That's another nice watershed. I think we've gone as far as we want to in this tree. I mean, we're not far off getting to 20 and getting to these, but I can't see as there's too much in here. Evasion's not going to do anything for us because we're in medium armour. A bit more universal spell power. Actually, that might not be so bad. 3 points for 15 universal spell power, and the enlarge spell, which we are using, costs almost nothing. So that's something to bear in mind if we have any spare points left over. But we are going to invest quite a few in here as well. I see us having maybe, let's say, 20 odd in here, 20 odd in there, and a bare minimum in here. We are missing the fortification from in there. I think 109 is not really where you should be in Epic. We were 150, weren't we, with the bonus this was giving us. So might be nice to at least put that and this back, and a couple of cores when possible. We'll have to see if we're really taking a hammering. I mean, if we can succeed in our strategy and start really killing from distance, which so far I definitely haven't, that would change things, you know, vis-a-vis the defences, the priorities. Okay, I think that's everything, is it, to show with the character and the build and what have you. Oh yes, if you didn't catch it in the comments for the last one, I managed to run the last one without the Draconic Mantle active, so that gave us a bigger challenge than was originally planned. Not that that in any way excuses some of my blunders, but I just thought I'd throw it out there. What's this? Oh yeah, also, again, not to excuse the crushing we've been taking, but we don't have some of the important defences. We don't have anything, you know, like missile deflection, which many players would not create a character without it. I think anybody can get it from the second core of the Vistani tree, can't they? Deflect arrows feat, yeah. So that's one reason we've been torn to pieces so far by archers. We don't have any blurry item either, as far as I know. I'm almost certain we don't. So what have we done since last time? Well, the Evening Star 1 chain I did. I died once to an annoying caster who was a red crown and cast one of those damage over times on me. I just couldn't heal enough to keep up with that. But aside from that, I thought we did okay. And particularly at the end of the last one, the battle for Evening Star, where you get all those spiders coming and you've got to face the big spider thing and then the boss. I thought we were doing alright. The AoEs were getting used nicely, you know, the Dragon Breath, the Firestorm, Divine Wrath and Celestial. And the Blade Barrier did a very good job at cleaning up those masses of little spiders that keep respawning. So that was good. Remember to keep using Ash for the extra damage on the end bosses. So that will boost up Celestial, Dragon Breath and Firestorm. So I try and wait till those three are off cooldown and then cast the Ash and throw in these three to get the bonus damage. Red Fens and yes, Wagon, we did manage to keep the Elder alive. I only did it on Reaper 1, but he never really looked like dying. Again there, Blade Barrier was pretty useful. Just throw it down in the middle where the leader happens to be. And yeah, we did okay there. I haven't done the last one. What's it called? Is it Fathom the Depths? The very last one in the Red Fens. Last one in the chain, where you have to go to the two prisons and free the Water Guardians. And I'll probably go back and do that later, but I just haven't got round to it yet. Brian made a good point. We were talking about the wilderness areas, and I think this is a very good point. It's I would agree with it. Like the Stormhorns, the section where you make the trek up all the way into the snowy things up at the top. Yes, it's a long old haul, but especially if you've never seen that before. I mean, to have a teleporter thing in place and to miss out on all that, like you can in Ravenloft, I think that would be quite a shame. And so yes, I agree with the system in there is quite nice. You go and find the Harper camp, touch that, and then get teleport access to there anytime you want it in the future. That seems fair enough, once you've discovered it. So by definition, you've seen and explored a bit of the wilderness area. I think that's quite nice, rather than through Ravenloft mechanic bypassing it completely, or as is the case in, let's say, Feywild, having to run through it every time you want to go through there. As mentioned in that thread, that's one of my other favourite wilderness areas. I must have a thing for snowy peaks. The run up to the Bitterspine Palace in the Feywild with the Northern Lights thing going on there. The first time I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, this is something else, isn't it? Um, oh yes, mounts. Of course, they're ideal for wilderness, like, for example, Sorodusk, which was a nightmare without the mounts. But now they're kind of trivializing much of the wilderness, aren't they? Just sort of able to fly past everything and to the next quest. I don't know what the ideal solution is there. I certainly think, like with the Sorodusk thing, I think people would probably just avoid it completely, and maybe they still do. But I think it's more than acceptable if you like the chain, which I happen to do. To use the horse to go in between, and the wait times between quests are fine then, I think. But without the horse, it would be a bit of a pain. I just think in some other situations the horse just is being used to completely bypass everything, and I think you pointed out as well, Brian, that might be a cause of quite some lag in the game as things are sort of diverting to try and track you down as you fly past them. Although I think I read something a while back saying that if you get a certain distance away, the things will no longer keep going and going and trying to get you. They'll return to their original place, so the lag will be lessened from that source at least. Um, remove. Oh yeah, spell wise, I've been kind of clinging on, haven't I, to things that I was using in heroic. Like I had an unmeted version of Searing Light down here, and it's just had to go. So I've done my best to try to move things around again. I've put the our two big AOE attacks on the main bar, the main numbers bar, to try to incentivize myself to use them more often. So we've only really got, I mean, for finishing little tiddly things in front of us, we've got the cheap, well, the zero cost Searing Light, and we've also got the Ash. That's just about it. Although our mantle can still, as with the Draconic one, trigger extra damage. So as I understand it, even if I do a greater colour spray, things can still get damaged by that using this mantle. And also in that mantle, if we happen to be running with a friend, I think there's a chance for a copy of Cocoon to be going on any target that we heal. So that could be nice. That was that. Oh yeah, I was reading something in the forum from somebody who sounded a bit disgruntled that in the new Vecna content, which I still know nothing about, by the way, so I can't really comment either way, but that it was going to be too easy on Reaper 10 or something like that. I don't know, just comments like this, it can't be easy for the developers, trying to balance. But why do these people get the impression that the game should be balanced around the relatively small, I think I'm right in saying, relatively small proportion of the player base that plays exclusively at this Reaper 10 level with the maxed out gear and all the rest of it, and not, and ignore the rest of the people that are still toiling away in low Reaper or Elite, dare I say it, and still finding that, a reasonable challenge. I think the point is a fair one as well. Just go and get a new character with no gear and challenge yourself on Elite then. Why do you have to have all the bells and whistles and then complain the game's too easy? I don't quite get that, and I don't envy the developers that task, because if you start pushing the difficulty, as happened with the likes of Tethymar and the Age of Rage chain, then the sort of rank and file, if we can call them that, of which I'm certainly one, they sort of suffer the brunt of the pain, because the upper echelons have got what they want. It takes them a couple more minutes to complete a Reaper 10 quest, and those of us down at the basement are getting absolutely slaughtered on Reaper 1. I know, get good. I think that's about it for the preamble. I was thinking maybe to try the Evening Star well for this one, until I remembered that we'd done that. I think we did it in the last life even, so I'm not going to repeat that. Instead, we're going to go for one that you might not have seen before too often. It's called In the Belly of the Beast. The quest giver is here in Evening Star. I think it's I think it's this one. Yeah, that one. Serena Parnuk. And how I like to get there is through the Hall of Heroes into the Evening Star Cavern. Now this assumes that you've already accessed the Shindelin portal. Shindelin, if you didn't know, is the Evening Star 2 chain. And you can do that. There's a little guide section on this on the channel if you're interested. You can access this Shindelin portal via an Underdark entrance in the King's Forest, which is Evening Star 1 chain. So I always make sure I get this thing opened up before finishing the 3 quests. Well, after finishing, the 3 quests in the King's Forest for the Evening Star 1. I'll go and open this thing up before exiting the forest. It's a handy access thing to have. Not just because you need to go through here to get to the Shindelin, which is the Evening Star 2 chain, but also because if you just nip in here and then nip back here again, you're on the path towards the In the Belly of the Beast quest in the Underdark. You watch, I'll make a complete balls of trying to show you the pathway to it now. Round here, jump off to the right. Oh, what's happened to my featherfall? I've no featherfall item. That's not a good start, is it? Oh, crikey. Did I put, I think I put all the stuff in the bank that I've taken off, didn't I? That's really not good. That's another one, ABBA, for the warts and all entry. There's nothing here with featherfall on, is there? Actually, there is. Those little boots that we bought from the marketplace. So should we need the featherfall, it's there on the boots. Okay. So there's a shrine. That's like the first marker. Now this is a bit of a tricky jump up the side here, but you can make it. Just persevere and you'll get there. There'll be a second shrine that tells you you're on the right way, and then there's two sets of steps going on the left. That's one, and then the second one I think is the one we... No, my bad, three sets of steps. The third one is the one we go up. You know, we've just been talking about wilderness areas, and I've just been walking or riding blissfully past all this stuff. So let's take some time to... this is not actually one of my... All this sort of bleakness, the Underdark. I know it's very in keeping with the theme, but it's not one of my favourite wildernesses. I'm a big fan of the Feywild one. I think it's quite well, all the vivid colours and that. I'm a fan of that. Just as I'm not a fan of our UK winters when all the colour goes from the landscape, so too this drab grey stuff doesn't do it for me. Okay, so that staircase is what we're looking for. That's going to lead us up to the Rismalag portal, which will get us a bit of XP, but also, should we for any reason want to go back now, we can come back to this portal, use it for... I think we have an option to get to here from maybe from the Evening Star Cavern, or certainly from Shindelin, I think. We can come back here, and this is very close, as you'll see, to the Belly of the Beast quest, the Rismalag portal. Now when you're running quests on Reaper, don't worry too much about using spell points in the wilderness area, because all your spell points and health get reset anyway when you enter a Reaper quest. What was I going to say here? Yeah, if you get confused about the pathing from this point on, from the Rismalag portal onwards, just always take the way that goes up. That's how I remember it. So anytime there's a decision, we take the path that goes up, and hopefully that will see us to the quest. So path that goes up. Oh, complete missed target there. My bad. So again, path going up. And there we have it. So, this takes place in several parts. The first part is the kind of... the main one is what it's talking about here, the Caverim Arena, where there's several waves of opponents come at you. This is the pre-arena, where you can do your buffing and talk with a few people. I think the crux of the pre-arena is to strike deals with one or more of the potential gladiators you could face in the arena to get them to fight on your side. The way I tend to do it is to get one of them to join with us. So let's see if we can go and find him. To start with, you have a little dialogue thing here. I think do we just pay to go in? Okay. We're not very big on intimidate. If it had been a diplomacy or a bluff with our charisma, we could have had a good go at that. So that he's kind of on the path. This is the one we want. So we're going to ask him what he wants, right, Tez? He wants us to kill Cousin Voltaine. So that's what we're now going to go and try and do. If we can find said person. That's not the right way, is it? Right, Cousin Voltaine I think is down in here. So, let's prepare ourselves here. Why did we not start? Oh, here we go. Nice. Okay, so that done, we just go straight on into the arena. I think we might want the boots here, the feather falling boots on, because there is an optional around the side of the arena. We can go and speak to I think the arena master if we go round these galleries here, rather than if you drop straight down the fight starts immediately. We can go and do this first. Note to self to switch those boots back. And put the diplomacy necklace on. So we're strong in diplomacy, I think, aren't we? Yeah, 96. Now that ought to be enough. There we go, a little bonus. We still have to do all the fighting, but is there some more speaking? Okay. Nice, nice, nice. See there, the 100 temporary spell points from the evergreen. Now come on, hit them hard. That didn't go to plan, did it? Need to stop. This was one of the things discussed after the last one. Stop messing about and just hammer them. Throw in the best attacks that are not on cooldown. Just get it done.
This is just a different type of opportunity.
And hit from distance, that was the other thing we said. Yeah, that was more like it. Get in there. Yes. Let's do some more of that, rather than when they're in our faces. Oh god, I've completely wasted a celestial thing there. They were all dead anyway, that was just silly. But we just need to have in mind to... Oh, come on, pick the bloody soul up. I couldn't even pick the soul up. Harper Pin to the rescue. That poison is nasty. Huge lag there. Use the wings more. And use the... Oh, come on. Why can't we collect the... Oh, we're in trouble here. We're in real trouble here with that stun. I can't get rid of it. This could be a death. Oh my god. got out of that, I'll never know. I really shouldn't try and pick this thing up because that was where all the trouble started. Why can't I collect this sodding... Die horribly, slaves.
My dear guests, now that we've whetted our taste for blood, it's time.
Marquez is startled when he sees your visitor.
You've proven yourself.
Oh, that looked bad.
Come, let us run together, and none in this fighting pit
Ha!
will
Have some of that.
against us.
Have some of that. Oh, apart from apart from the did it actually hit them? I thought it had missed them all completely, but I think it might just have been lag.
We will never mention this again.
Okay, spell point wise we're not doing so bad, are we? Keep moving, boy. Use your wellspring. Let's have some wellspring. Oh, that's a gross overkill, but still.
How disappointing. But we can solve the problem of these surface dwellers' continual failure to die. My dear audience,
Oh, not good.
of the arena, Crescendor.
Tell you what, that was pretty good though, wasn't it? Get in. Yes, yes. Beautiful. Have we even got time to open a chest here? I'm picking up all sorts of random rubbish here, so I was not going to be happy about on the inventory management side. Okay, what just appeared there? Can we crowd control that at all? Doesn't look like it, does it? Oh my god, that's got a lot of health. Can we not stop it at all? I think we need to be trying to hit those from distance, don't we? Yeah, that was a good idea. Stay the hell away from them. I think they want to be cuddly. That's not good. Yeah, he wants to come and say hello. Crowd control's just failing miserably. I don't think the...
The worm is attacking one of the sectors.
Oh, okay.
Those faced with becoming worm the rest of the crowd cheer at their misfortune.
Well, that was pretty good. I don't think that hit it. Do I dare trigger the spell point ring? That nearly killed me one time.
Never stand collapsed against the worm itself. More spectators fall.
Oh, sugar! Okay. No, not remarkable, but life-saving. What the hell happened there? We bounced off something. Okay, can we just sneak a little... Did we get him? Yes, okay. Beautiful, roasted. Oh, red crown worm. Okay, okay. Can we blind him? trying to crowd control them, it's not working. Oh, that did! That one did! Yes! Oh, yes! We got a lucky colour spray there. Stop the bugger. And a lucky soul as well. We're running a bit low, aren't we? Let's top up the bottled boosts. A bit more universal spell power. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, okay, okay. I think this is the one that just eats us. You just have to wait for it to eat you.
When the floor of the fighting pit collapsed, you fell into one.
And then that was the second part, the arena, and then the third part we end up inside the worm's belly. I don't think it actually hurts you, it just eats you in the end. Some form of acid resist is pretty good down here because there can be
You're still alive for the moment.
oh, I think we're already taking acid damage now. There is a shrine here. Yeah, let's not get caught out here. We've come this far. Got to get used to, if we're going to start throwing all the big spells around, got to get used to using these shrines. That's something else I'm going to have to dispel. A shrine is not a dirty word. Not like hirelings. Have any of you ever made use of those temporary shrines? Is it statue, Eladrin statue or something? I have had the odd one drop for me in a dice roll, but I never keep them on me because there'd be so much clutter, and I feel like I've got to draw a line somewhere.
This is a piece of that worm-slaying weapon that Cable
But every time oh, look at this
when he was swallowed.
acid damage.
You found and reassembled it.
Oh my god.
Use the weapon. Even when shattered it to pieces, slay something with the shard, the worm
How much acid resist have we got here? Oh,
its digestive tract.
this is really, really bad. Have I not cast resist acid?
With the Earthcarver shard will also fuel its protective magic.
I don't see us getting through this. It's too much. We're gonna die. Why is it so much?
It's some kind of buildup of digestive phlegm, and it's enveloped.
What is our acid? 45, that's not terrible. We're really getting hammered by that stuff, aren't we? Oh god. I can't get out of it. That little spot I'd found was just about the only place. Oh. It seems excessive to me, does that, compared to previous visits I've had here. We're walking around in pools of acid. I can understand, but come back. Don't leave me. He has left me. I almost think that maybe one of the latest updates of the game has done something with this, because I don't remember it being anything like as horrible as this down here. This is just deadly. Got to try and find something to stand on, and I don't think I can. Get the chest, just get the hell out of here. I tell you what would have been good here, very good. The ticking heel from oh sugar. The ticking heel from Cocoon or what's the other one? Renewal would have been very nice.
At last, other Cormyrian captives will be spared the fate.
Take the shard and get the hell out of here.
Finally, Earthcarver is in your
That
grasp.
was horrible.
Oh no. All
Now we just have to... I pressed space up here and try and swim to the surface. Hopefully we're not still taking all that crazy damage. We are. Oh my god.
solid ground. A sword. Now that
Jesus, I can't believe... Correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't believe that is how it's meant to be. That was serious damage, and we have a good resistance to that. So you just blow a hole in the worm's side once you get up there,
out of the worm,
and then this thing is fairly trivial if I remember correctly.
Sinica's tail has spelled its doom. Seems head too stupidly
And there we have it. I'll tell you what, I'm delighted to have got through that gauntlet in one piece. That acid damage was horrific. If we didn't have the cheatily good heal spell on our side, there's just no way. It would have been, yeah, it would have been really, really nice to have the, what's it called, renewal. But we're some way off that, aren't we? I could have made good use of a rejuve cocoon as well. I suppose I could have, in between fights, I could have been using Cure Serious instead of the heal spell. That would have been an intelligent thing to do, but then that's never been one of my better traits, has it? Having said that, I'm going to bask in the glory of a completion there, because that was certainly not easy. I don't see how we could have had too much more on the acid resist side there. So I have a feeling that something's changed there since last time. I don't remember taking acid damage at all in there on a similar, if not the same level, and all of a sudden you were getting chunked to death. So I think maybe something they've changed to something else has affected the mechanics of this quest. That's my feeling anyway, because that was tough. You get an extra chest at the end for having involved Rites in the proceedings, and involving him helps you anyway, because he takes some of the heat off you. If you noticed, he was having a couple of big groups come flying around him, which enabled us to do the business with them without having them hammering us. Right, let's get back to Evening Star. Let's get the hell out of here. I could have chosen an easier quest, I think, for this, but I wanted to show this one, because the pathing is sometimes an issue for people. Certainly was for me when I started out. As I mentioned, I've done a little guide to the belly of the beast, that both the way to get to it and to do it. In fact, maybe I'll have a look back at that guide and see just how it was down there in the acid, because I'm sure that I wasn't getting tonked like that. If any of you have any experience of that recently, I'd be happy to hear what those are, because yeah, to me that felt really tough. Okay, I think we're on the right track. I certainly managed to rectify a few of the issues leading up to this one. We've got heavy hitting spells now with all the meta magics on them. We're using much more the Bombard and the Divine Wrath. Now I've relocated them on the bar. Sadly, I don't think I used once the wellspring, which is a huge misplay. Didn't use once the implosion, which is another one. But let's focus on the positives. We've got these two big ones. We've found a place for them. They're going well. The crowd control, albeit it didn't do much against those worms, otherwise still pretty good. So, and the wings I was beginning to use as well to help us. So I think better than last time anyway. Let's just have a quick look where we're at with the spell powers. Yeah, we're in the 500s now for fire and light, and for force as well. Although force we're not really too fussed about. And the light we're almost on 50 crit. That's pretty decent, and the fire isn't far behind. We'd quite like to reverse that, because the main thrust of our attacks now is the fire. The Dragon Breath, the Firestorm, and the Celestial is all fire, and those are the big three. The only big light one we have is the Divine Wrath, otherwise it's the light spell-like ability. And the Holy Smite as well is light, but as I mentioned, that's more for the blind effect than the damage. The other thing I don't feel we exploited enough, maybe partly because of the parameters of this particular quest, was the attack from distance. I want to much more, not have things swarming around us, incapacitate them from distance, and then just drop the bombs from distance. And I want to be talking about something that we've just steamed through quite trivially. No bead of sweat on the brow or anything like that. Just by the numbers. That's what we want. We want this operation to go smooth and by the numbers. And thus far, we haven't had one of those. So that's what I would aspire to in a future episode. Speaking of which, I will go to Shindalin proper and complete the Evening Star 2, which is 4 quests in the city, the Drow city of Shindalin, if you didn't know. I'll probably finish the Red Fens, and I will... Hi Abba, I'll be with you shortly. And then there's a couple maybe in the Desert Sands we can have a go at. As Abba's just popped up on here, I might as well mention it's been really nice, that side of it, to see a couple of you joining in on Orion, and hopefully doing a bit more questing with Purple and some of the other folk around the Bear Party group. That's been lovely, so thanks very much for making the effort. Thank you all for looking, and I will speak to you all in the next one. Take care.